Well, hello. It's Wednesday afternoon again, June 25th, and it's great to be back here and meeting again in the afternoon. I hope wherever you are, it is a beautiful day. There's incredible energy this week in the planets, lots going on, and it's like, gosh, despite what's happening in the world, there's still so much positive and dynamic energy to participate in. And so, whether you're experiencing that, inwardly or sharing that with others, just enjoy it and allow yourself to go with the flow of the energy of this week and be open, be curious. Okay. So, thank you for joining me. Thank you for being interested in this work. And yay. Okay. Last week, we couldn't have live chats on. For some reason, that was down. But today, it looks like it's open. So, thanks for joining. I am going to read the Akashic Prayer, and then I'll take a second to connect. We'll see what messages the guides want to bring forth in general for everyone, and then we'll jump into some questions and then see if anybody joining live today has any questions. We can do that too. So, if you haven't had a session with me, this is a really great way to experience what a session would be like in a one-on-one session, or even in a group setting, or in a format like this. When I read the prayer, I would encourage you to close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths. Let yourself become really present here. Allow yourself to be open. You might notice that something crosses your mind that you are curious about, or maybe you want to ask about. And even if you don't ask, somebody else probably will. How this works is really beautiful. It's like there's such a co-creative process and of gathering with our guides, your guides, whoever needs to be here. Message will come through that you needed to hear, and you maybe didn't even know you need to hear. So be open to that and see what shows up for you today. Okay. All right. I ask God if He will have a shield of love and truth around you permanently, so only God's love and truth will exist between you and me. I allow the masters, teachers, and loved ones of you. Look, I never dropped my prayer. To channel through me out of whatever realm to say whatever they wish. I ask the permission of the Lords of the Akashic Records, so I'm able to look into the records of you and remove whatever information I'm allowed. So my guides are telling me I need to be more present, that my mind was wandering into other things. So I've had a few readings today, and I'm coming fresh off readings into here. So, so give me a second. That's so funny. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's see here. What general message? Okay. They want to address the fear that is rising across the globe from country to country. And there is that idea of war. We have seen energy move in that direction, especially if you are here in the United States. But even if you're not, unfortunately, as the guides would want us to understand, is we are all on this planet, and we are all being impacted by what one country does to another, in retaliation from another, etc. It does look like the guides are saying this is part of that disruption. This is all part of, it's like COVID, that natural disaster, that disruption of really pushing people in that direction of being very clear on your moral compass. And being very clear on how you want to be here, what you want to support, what you simply won't stand for. He's he the guides are saying that this is about the collective raising standards, and it's also about creating unity. And it looks really destructive, and it is, and there are still many lives that are going to be um, transitioning, and that is all part of this plan as well. And it's almost like they said that the earth is just kind of well, a good way to put it, they said, like, if you took a rug and you started shaking the rug because, or you hang it outside and you beat it with a broom to get all the dust and stuff out, it's just an initial way to clean it, maybe, just to get what's down in those fibers out. They said the earth is kind of going through that same thing. And there are multiples of ways that shakeup can happen. Um, the guides are saying they would encourage all of us to be prepared and to be wise, to stay ahead of things. So whatever your intuition is guiding you to do as far as being prepared for, man, I hate to even say this, but war, they are encouraging us to do so. And we can be spiritual, we can be kind, we can be loving, we can think positive thoughts. And again, when we come together in numbers, and we're uniting in the same moral compass or the same standards, and we're even focusing on having a positive impact. They said there are some things that are still like destined to happen, and impact still destined to happen on this planet. And that we cannot circumvent. They want us to understand in soul contracts. So you could look at the earth as having a soul contract, with the universe, or and we're all here with our own contracts, and we're playing a part of that. And some things are written in the contract that cannot be avoided. Can we lessen the impact? Sure. Can we be prepared for that? Sure. And should we? Yes. Is this about finding your tribe, finding your community, finding people to be around that think like you do? Yes. And is this about, sending more love into the world? Yes. There's so much happening here, and they can't address it all in this one gathering. Yet know that there are layers and layers and layers of things going on, and messages to be understood, and ways to be impacted. So positively, and what we might determine not positively, yet they want us to remind us, they're reminding us that we are always moving towards our evolution, our next highest and best. And that goes for the earth too, goes for the globe, and goes for every country. There is always movement to the next highest and best version of self, community, city, state, country. Even if it doesn't look like it, we are always moving forward. And they want to remind us that. But they are also saying, be prepared, stay ahead of the game, and let go of the fear as much as you can. Let go of the fear. The fear seems to exacerbate the feelings, the intensity, the anxieties around it. And if we could trust in this process and know that it's part of the evolution, then we can move away from fear and not feed it with that vibration. So, there's that scale of moving from fear to, we have to tell ourselves, trust in the process, to accept what's going on and maybe surrender to what's going on, and yet understand how we are called to change through this, in whatever way, however we're influenced to help or be here with it. That's important too. But just notice the scale that you're on. And they said, do the best that you can to move out of the fear space and into one of those other places. And that in and of itself can lessen some of the impact. Hoping that makes sense. Let's see here. The guides, it's really as long as I've been doing the work, they will bring some tough messages through. There's no doubt. And they will say some things that, we don't want to hear or somebody doesn't want to hear. Yet they will never say anything we're not ready to hear. And they will always try and put a positive spin on things, because really they, from their place in spirit, there's no judgment. They see everything as, maybe necessary would be a good word. There's no right or wrong. There's no up or down. There's no good or bad. There's only what defines you, and you honoring what defines you is really, what this journey is about. And coming to that place of self-awareness and being really strong in that and being able to stand in that. And then you start to attract people into your experience that meet you there. They line up with you in that same way. That's where that I don't want to say power starts to spread, but that energy of unity, togetherness, like minds, starts happening. But the most important thing is to come back to your own sense of self-awareness and what defines you and how do you want to be here. And they said to judge is to be fearful, and to judge is a need to control. And they would like us to be more open to flow as to control. Even though we're not all down here to be whitewater rafters, are we? There is a sense, though, of just trusting in the universe, trusting in this process, and that there is a greater plan being worked on, or executed, I should say. Whew. All right, here. So there is still disruption. That is the nature of this administration, too. And it's just playing a part along with other things. They are assuring me that there is still, in this administration, in the current direction this administration has been going, is taking, there is they're showing me the path that administration is on, and they're showing like a, almost like the earth falls away in this path. Like there is a point of disruption for them on the path in this direction, for that administration to be abruptly halted. I don't know what that will be or when that will be, but they are showing that that is out there as well. So, okay. Let me see if they have any. Aside from that, let's just step aside from knowing we need to be ready and to be prepared and to follow our intuition. So if you have had the notion to stockpile some things, you know what, maybe do it. But just trust the notions that you're having, the intuitions that you're getting, and understand, is this a place of fear that notion is coming from, or is it a place of real internal guidance? Either way, they're saying to honor what's in your heart right now in however way you need to feel prepared. Okay. And they said to, just like forests, they'll have controlled burns, to get rid of old growth so that new growth can happen. Remember, that is always the nature of this life, of this planet, is to keep renewal. So if they gave you anything today, they would say, go with the flow, trust in the renewal process, and be open to being a part of that. Okay. All right. I'm going to hop to some questions here. That's some stuff, isn't it? Okay. Okay. This is a fun one. So when I was watching one of your YouTube videos, you made me laugh out loud when you brought up the Jetsons TV show, that Housing in the Sky. I think of the Jetsons every few years and have often joked with my friends who are old enough to remember the Jetsons that I wish I had that conveyor belt machine that they used to go through each morning that would get them ready for the day, like hair, makeup, clothes, etc. I just loved that you mentioned the Jetsons that day. So I'm not really sure what my question is, but I thought there may have been a reason that you mentioned the Jetsons. And I would love to know if the guides see houses in the sky and flying cars in our future and what the time frame is on those major shifts. Okay, that's fun. If y'all haven't watched the Jetsons, I would look on YouTube and see if there are old videos or shows that you can watch, or wherever those old cartoons might be. So let's see here. The guide said, yes, absolutely, we are moving in that direction. And they said often the creators, the writers, of Hollywood and these shows are tapped into things that we can't see yet. And does that assist with bringing them into fruition? Yes, but does it also mean they're tapping into something in the future that they have seen? Yes, all of the above. So there is reality to that. And I'm asking them a time frame. They said from today, less than 20 years. They're saying 12 years out from really seeing progress with those houses in the sky, so to speak. And flying cars are already, becoming a reality. But they're saying that still needs more time, but we will see significant progress within 12 years, but less than 20. So that's cool. That feels a little sooner than I thought, but that's what they're saying. How fun. Okay. Okay. With all I've read about 2026 natural events on Earth from Tom Moore and Gaia, I was considering taking my kids out west to see while we can. But I've learned that I need shoulder surgery, which will take 6 months for full recovery. That's not an emergency. So my question, would it be in my best interest to prioritize surgery as early as August or make at least one trip to see some West Coast nature with the kids before 2026 natural disasters begin? If travel, do the guides have destination suggestions for the best interest of my kids? Thank you, thank you. Okay. So I am hearing yes to take the trip and to put off surgery. It looks like till more of the fall season. So I don't know if that's late fall or early winter, but it just feels more towards the end of this year. And as far as going to the west, they are showing me a flight going into San Francisco. So Northern California. And from there, they would, I don't know how long you can stay. And of course, multiple trips would probably be necessary to see so much. But they're showing going into the city, experiencing some of the things there, going up the coast to the Redwoods, and again along the coast to Point Reyes, Bodega Bay. You could go all the way up to that Oregon border even. But just they are also saying to, all right, hang on here, that northern area to go to Yosemite. They would put Yosemite, they put a big star there for some reason. So, and you know what? That is so funny. They said that. I just read an article or a note yesterday, I think it was, that Yosemite is going to be open, their lodging and everything, full, just for the whole time, full hours, full availability for this whole summer. Normally they close it down and control, I guess, the crowds or something. But anyway, that's interesting. But the guys are saying to definitely go to Yosemite. Okay. That's a lot to pack in. Beautiful country. Beautiful, beautiful part of the country. So it's really nice that you want to share that with your children while you can. Okay. Let's see here. Good morning, Betsey. I hope you're doing well. Over the past 2 days, I received several downloads of the song New Kid in Town by the Eagles. Is this a message from my guides? And if so, what are they conveying to me? Okay. Oh gosh, that's so interesting. Okay. Wow, this could have multiple interpretations, actually. And they were saying first they would look at the eagles, and eagle being an animal guide of union with spirit. It is one of those higher realms, that connection to spirit, one of the higher messengers connecting to spirit, if that makes sense. Um, So they're saying, yes, that you're correct. It is a message from your guides, a message from spirit in that regard. And the new kid in town, so they're showing me a couple of things. And I'm going to see which one is correct, but or if there's one more than the other, this could be a new aspect of you that is showing up, a new kid in town that you're meant to embrace. Now, the song itself, the new kid in town was a threat. Um, and kind of took over the scene, if y'all remember the Eagle song. And they're saying that could be a subconscious understanding that there's a new aspect of you showing up that you might feel a little threatened by, or just unsure of how it's going to take over, how's it going to show up. So I would be open to that expansion and growth. And at the same time, they're showing the new kid in town as someone to mentor, someone to work with, someone to be open to. And again, not to be threatened by this in any way, and not to feel that you will be upstaged or shadowed in any way, as that song, the lyrics might suggest. And it could be that there is both. The mentoring part of you shows up for someone new, and I don't know how to take it from there, but it looks like you're being asked to step out of your comfort zone and embrace this new kid. So whether that's the mentor part of you that you have to embrace, or this person that you're going to mentor or work with, that's part of this. It's all the same message. I hope that makes sense. If not, send me a little email and I could explain more. Yet it feels like this is a invitation to welcome new union with spirit, but it also feels like a real physical change too, that you're meant to embrace or be open to. So how cool is that? I just love how the guides bring us messages. Okay. Okay, I am working for an agency and I'm wondering when I'll be able to leave. I've created my new website, which I love. I'll be volunteering with a group and hoping that it will get my name out there. Is there anything else I should be doing to move forward? Okay, thank you. All right, let's see here. They are so happy to see your energy and enthusiasm around the direction you're taking, the website that you love. All of that just feels so light and positive. And they would keep that lightness and positivity going. They would be in that flow of it. The most important thing is that it refrain from feeling like it's effort, if that makes sense. And again, going back into that flow of things. They're also showing me it's as if they would do this for anyone, anytime, any place. When you wake up in the morning, if you have pets or you have plants, both, family members, greet all of that with love and gratitude, to just get to share another day with them. And they're saying the same thing for your website and this vision you're moving towards, to greet that every morning with love and gratitude for even being able to have this vision and the opportunity to move towards it. And they would stay in that space of it. Does that make sense? So they know that people throw gratitude out there a lot. Gratitude journals, gratitude for 3 things, blah, blah, blah. And they said that there really is truth to that. And gratitude is a wonderful way to shift your um, energy so that you do line up with more things to be grateful for. And it is one of these simplest tools that is so undervalued and underused. And they would encourage all of us to wake up with gratitude, thankful that we woke up, thankful that we woke up in the place that we did, thankful that we can take that first breath, thankful for what's around us. Really be present with your environment. They are asking, how many of you wake up and the first thing you do is grab your phone, and start scrolling? And they would just really invite you to take a moment and be present without that phone, and be present without even needing to know what time it is. It's just take that moment and look around you, feel around you, and be grateful. Be grateful, grateful, grateful. They said that creates such a wonderful pace for the day. If they could unite everybody in that, the world could change overnight. Uh, so there is a lot of power in that. And they would encourage you, asking that question about, your website and that the new work that you're moving towards. They said you can accelerate that process by employing that method. When will you be able to leave? Might be the fall. Could it be a little sooner, and could it go to the beginning of next year? Yes. I'm not sure what that sliding around is about yet. Like I said, they said you can accelerate the process by staying in that loving place, and that feeling grateful place. And this isn't fantasy thinking. It's not, because you are being grateful what's already in your life, what you've already created. And when you do that, like I said, it creates that vibration of being thankful. So the universe is like, oh, let me send more for you to be thankful, because you're in that space to receive, because you're acknowledging what you've already received. Does that make sense? Okay, hopefully. Let me see if there's anything else there. Mm-mm. No, I think we're good on that one. All right. Let's see here. And that, you guys, is it for our questions today. So I'm going to draw us, since we were talking about the eagle, that's so funny that question came through, because I grabbed I have a dear friend that I knew in college, and she created this deck, Animal Frequency. And she wrote a book. This is the book, Animal Frequency. And it's, if y'all probably seen Animal Speak by Ted Andrews, which is just fabulous. So this is a new version, Animal Frequency, that came out a few years ago. But anyway, she made this card deck, and I grabbed them today because I was like, I'm going to draw us an animal messenger and see what's here with us for the week. So let's see which one the guides would have us. And I like this deck too, because she includes mythical creatures. Ooh, but we get, okay, the lynx. Wasn't that so cool? Okay, so it says talents of the lynx: ancient knowledge, excellent hearing, guardian of secrets, independent, intense observer, intuitive, invisibility, sharp vision, silent, solitary, truth of being, and vocal. If the lynx is a challenge for us, so when you do cards, sometimes they'll be upright and sometimes they're reversed, and you can look at the opposite meaning of something. It could mean ambush, isolation, loneliness, secretive, and unsociable. And so that may be part of the links that some of you need this week to, maybe it's self-protect, or just to tend, sometimes you got to tend to your senses. We can be so sensitive that the outside world just stimulates the heck out of us. And it's like, maybe it's a sign to retreat. So I'm just going to do one more. Is there one that wants to hang out with the links with us this week? Let's just see. How about the kangaroo? That is so funny. Can't get there. Balance, courage, escaping, faith, forward motion, leaps over problems, positive energy, solid foundation, speed, and stamina. The opposite of that would be aggression. Well, and Mars is active in the sky, and we've got this whole war stuff going on. Easily distracted, smartphones in the morning, restless, unfocused, unpredictable. And so maybe we need to be reminded that we don't want to start our day with kangaroo energy. How about that? That's so funny. Well, hopefully this was fun for you and informative in some way. And again, I want to thank you for being here with me. And I'll be back next Wednesday. We will be in July already. Can you believe that? And so what would that be? July? Well, whatever next Wednesday is. So join me. Send your questions in to Betsey at betseygrady.com. And I'll meet you here next Wednesday. Okay. Thanks, you guys. Bye. May the links be with you. I'll say that. Bye.